Welcome to FanX, you guys. We're so excited to have you here. One more time, you guys. Are you excited to have them here? We're happy.
Wow. Wow, guys, thanks.
We're happy to have you guys. You guys have returned. We'd love to have you back. Before we get, there's so many people that want to ask questions, but we got to get to Billy. Billy, the last time you were here at FanX, you played the guitar in, say, Britney Spears.
He is also, by the way, a very, very highly accomplished and recognized bookbinder.
It's true.
And ready to take commissions.
All right, we are going to get questions, but I do have to ask, I know somebody else is going to do it. Elijah, Dom, how many times do people talk to you about the wig?
All the time. No matter where I am in the world, people ask if I wear wigs.
Yeah. Larry David actually talked to me about that skit.
He did?
Yeah.
Larry David.
Larry David.
Look at that.
I was trying to think there of anyone kind of slightly lofty that knew him. And I remember Larry David said, the guy with the wig. And I was like, yeah, that's me. I was like, wow. Got to that level.
All right, let's get right into the questions, guys. Let's jump into our questions.
Hi.
Hi.
My question is, over here. What is the line that you hear most often from fans when you're just out and about in public?
All right, then keep your secrets. That's a big one.
We get does it come in pints quite a bit.
What about second breakfast?
Will you wear wigs? I get will you wear wigs quite a bit. What about you, John? Nobody tosses a dwarf.
What was the damn question?
When you're out in the street, what line do people say back to you? A Gimli line?
Get off the stage? No. Don't tell the elf goes down. By the way, I'm only substituting for Sean Astin at the moment. So if you've got any questions for Sean Astin, I am more than happy to fill them in.
Hi, that's loud. What items did you take home from set?
Well, there were some officially handed off items, and then there were some unofficial items. I'm assuming you mean the unofficial items. Well, I did ask permission, but there's a map in Bag End that is the same map from The Hobbit. So with the Misty Mountains, just as that same illustration, framed, and I just loved it so much, so I took that home. There are two portraits above the mantle in Bag End of must be Frodo's parents, and it's Hobbit portraits of Fran and Peter. I don't have them; they have them, but they're really amazing. So if you look at the movie, have a look at the mantelpiece because those portraits are of Fran and Peter as hobbits.
Also in Pete and Fran's house in Wellington, they have a framed picture of the four hobbits posing as the Beatles.
Very true. We gave that to them pretty early in production.
Pete's a huge Beatles fan, so it was a great crossover. I didn't take anything not official. I got the stuff that we all got, I think. Feet, ears, a clapperboard, a sword. That was about it. Some script pages.
Unofficially, we weren't allowed to take any costume, but I did take Pippin's scarf. Because when you do any sort of TV film, it's a sort of process to find the character at the start, because there is no character, you're making it up. and the wardrobe and makeup, they all helped to do this. And I remember being in a very early wardrobe session, and they said, do you feel like wearing a scarf? And as soon as I put it on, I was like, oh, this could be like a scarf his grandmother knitted him. And it reminds him of the Shire. So all through the movies, I either have the scarf on or it's nearby, it's on at the back of the shot or whatever.
Is that how you find a character, through an item of clothing?
Yeah, you know that there's I can't remember what famous actress said, once I get the shoes.
Yeah, that was the man who did Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? Come on, somebody's got the name.
Sidney Poitier.
Sidney Poitier?
Yeah! Well, he's smart, isn't he?
He's very smart.
That's why we hate him. Poitier used to say, character began from the shoes up. How do you guys go about it?
I don't think I do costumes. Probably script, really. Just read the script over and over again. It's the way that I get.
Costume has a lot to do with it. It depends on the character. With something that as specific as this, obviously, you know, hobbits look like hobbits, and the way that they dress is so specific. So yeah, I mean, you know, finding those little elements, it makes you feel like you're in the skin of the characters. I love going through that process. It's my favorite, I think. And also with this, the hair and makeup. So, you know, our wigs, our ears, our feet, all of that. The wigs. You know, all of that makes you feel not like yourself. It makes you feel like your character, which is a lovely thing.
And that is often, it's often alleged that really the makeup is for the actor rather than for the audience. Olivier worked the other way. He used to look in the mirror and he would make his face look like what he wanted the character to be. And somebody earlier in his career had said, there is a little weakness there. And for years, he put on a big blob of plasticine because he thought that that was a physical thing rather than perhaps a comment about his intelligence.
Wow, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. I hope you guys come back again. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. It's had a profound influence on my life from my reading, writing, gaming, my choice of friends. So I wondered what has had a profound impact on your life? A thing, person?
Wow, getting deep now. I think the biggest kind of individual factor in my life that influences me is the natural world of nature. So the wild animals and trees and anything non-human is probably kind of my spiritual path, as it were.
I'd say, I mean, God, there's so many things that have had an impact on my life, but music would be at the top of the list in my list. Just informing on who I am as a person, my worldview, everything, yeah.
Sitting next to this man, and it might not be what you think, there was a TV show called Sliders that I really like string theory and quantum mechanics and things. I'm building a time machine. I have been for a while. But I love it when TV shows go that way into science. And I love Sliders. I love every week waiting for it to come on and think, what's this world they're going to be in? A world where dogs have taken over. You know, I love that. So that was a great show for me.
You know, two things. One, I've just been made a fellow of the Royal Astronomical Society.
Wow.
But more importantly, I am having a series of conversations with Sabrina Lloyd, Clevant Derricks, and Jerry O'Connell about, I wonder what we're talking about. Anyway, that's as far as I can go. But, in answer to your question, you do realize I belong to your grandparents' generation. And we used to have, in little towns, we would have 3 cinemas, and each of which would be showing a double bill, and it would change in the middle of the week, and then on Sundays you would also have an extra change as well. So I got to see hundreds of films, but the one for me that worked was High Noon. I thought I really wanted to live my life on Gary, it was Cary Grant, no.
Cooper.
No, it was, who was it?
Gary Cooper?
Yeah, I wanted to live my life like that, be a man of principle, you know? Pity it didn't work out that way.
Thank you. Oh, there's a little babe. Oh, there's 2 little babies.
Hello, thanks for being here, gentlemen. Billy, when you were here last time, you called Dom on the phone because he wasn't here, because you were having dinner with him the following Sunday. Who would you call on the phone now since Dom's on the stage with you?
I mean, we could try Sean, but he's on set. We could try him, but he is on set, so he might not answer. Also, if you call him and it's unexpected, he has profoundly foul language. How's everyone doing?
Please leave a message.
You guys can leave a message.
Leave a message!
I have to ask though, Billy, the last time you guys were here, you and Dom talked about how you hope when this is all over that you guys are going to be buried next to Vigo.
Yeah.
But he hasn't given you guys permission yet. How's that coming along?
I think he thinks we're joking. And we're not. I think it would be a great thing. And also, he's a very rich man, so he could pay for it.
There's another baby.
I've got a hobbit baby. But I was wondering if you had a bucket list item, whether career-wise or like a vacation or...
What's that?
A bucket list item.
Oh, bucket list. I would love to go to Christmas Island. Christmas Island's in the middle of the Pacific, an archipelago, and every year they have the most amount of land crabs come onto the island than anywhere else on the planet. Over 100 million land crabs. People can't go to work, they can't go to school, no one drives their car. The entire island stops whilst these crabs go from the east part of the island to the west part of the island, town Vegas, and it is an absolute natural phenomenon. Never been, only happens in November. I'd love to do that.
Oh man, there's so many. I want to go to Antarctica. That would be an incredible thing to see. All of my bucket lists are travel related. I'd love to take a ride on the Orient Express.
Careful, a lot of people get murdered.
It's true.
I think I might be too old now.
You'll never be too old.
But I would still like to play the Dane.
You would.
Yes, I'd like to be Hamlet.
You should.
Am I too old?
Good God, no.
You would be marvellous.
Irving played it when he was 53, and I believe our Gandalf has essayed it more recently at the age of 80 or something.
Mark, I'm all right then, I'll do it.
You've had a few years.
Okay, next question.
Hi. Who's not here would like to know what was the hardest ad to film in the Lord of the Rings trilogy?
The hardest scene.
I think I might know yours.
God.
John had a tough time.
They were all hard. But standing in that rain at Helm's Deep, when the fire engines turn the hoses on and it trickles down the back of your armor, into your underpants, down the back of your legs, and then it's cut. And the wind, the cold wind, starts to evaporate it, and you're almost back to being warm again, and then the hose goes on again.
I don't think we can beat that.
What about the wonderful day John gave us in Lothlorien when you had to say those couple of lines of Dwarvish?
So, it goes like this. Yes. The line is meant to be Ish Kakui Aidu Rugnu. So it goes. Alright. Who's going to be Orlando in this one? Go on. Alright. Ish.
What do my elvish eyes see?
Yes, it was what is it? Ishkakut what?
This was honestly all day. It was the funniest thing.
Take 53. They all know the line, and they are saying it to me, and I'm getting madder and madder at myself.
You should get harder.
Oh, I hated them.
I was laughing
And
so
I
much.
still do.
I was laughing so much that I was sweating, and the sweat was making my wig fall off. And my makeup artist was like, "You have to stop laughing." I was like, "John's fucking."
Is this true that when we shot Lothlorien, they hadn't finalized Legolas's outfit yet? Do you remember that?
No.
Legolas's outfit was a work in progress. Do you remember?
This is
it just
coming back,
occurred, it
yeah.
just occurred to me now, and I believe we shot a different outfit during the Lothlorien sequence.
I think you're right, yeah.
Was he in a tutu? Sure.
But the design changed.
That's right,
The
yeah.
design changed. It was a work in progress.
Thank you.
Hello. So my question is, well, firstly, I just recently watched the whole trilogy, and I just realized it's been at least 20 years since you guys finished the trilogy, and I'm just wondering, you know, I can already see between the four of you, I mean, you guys are just like this, but is that the same way for the whole Fellowship? I mean, is the Fellowship still going these days?
Was there a question there?
Are you sort of saying, are we as close as we were? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, like all 9 of you.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's some of us that we haven't seen each other in quite some time, but the function of having worked together so closely over such a long period of time is that it sort of transcends friendship. You know, we're kind of family, and we're among a small group of people who knows what it was like to go through that and make those films. So we're sort of linked forever. We see each other quite a lot on the circuit, and the three of us live in Los Angeles, and Sean as well. I haven't seen Vigo in a while, but yeah,
He's been directing films, for goodness sake. He hasn't got any time at the moment.
Yeah.
We did a Zoom with Josh Gad during the COVID kind of experience that we all went through, and that was very special for all of us. And then it seems to happen that, like, sometime around the Christmas period, we might get involved in some sort of chain of emails where, you know, someone, I seem to remember, like, last year, Kate Blanchett was like, Happy Christmas, and there was a little photo, and then very quickly, Pete and Fran sent a little photo, and then it kind of sparked a little chatter. So it happens, we're all busy. It's lovely to see each other. I seem to remember the Friends cast saying that they all go their separate ways, but then when they see each other, that's it for the rest of the night, they're with each other. And that seems to be the case with Rings people. Is everyone's busy doing stuff, but if you see that person, that's your person for the rest of the day when you see them. Yeah.
Do you know, I think we ought to do one of those funny little calls that we did with all of us together. We ought to do it at Christmas time to wish the fans well.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Hello. My question is, what is the best life advice you have ever received?
Keep breathing. That's the trick. Sorry, you can't beat that one, can you?
I don't know that it arrived in the form of advice, you know? I credit so much of who I am to my mom. Like, she really built the foundation of me as a human being. Prior to any sort of recognizability or notoriety within the film industry, I had she really focused on building this very solid base of a person that was self-defined and not defined by the thing that I was doing, and that really set me up for success in life as a person. Because I think, you know, this industry is so weird, and you know, people kind of they define by the things that they do rather than like their interior. So that I don't know, that made a huge impact on me and kind of set me up for the rest of my life.
My dad gave me a great piece of advice. I don't know where he got it from, because my dad's a teacher, or he's a retired teacher now. Yes, there's my dad in the audience. Runs in the family. So I don't know where he got this piece of advice from me from, because he's a teacher. But when I used to go for auditions, when I was a lot younger, in my late teens, early 20s, my dad used to say to me, because he used to sometimes take me, and then when I would be done, take me home. And he would very often say, try as hard as you can to forget it now. Don't even think that the thing existed. Of course, you commit fully to the audition at the moment, but as soon as the audition's done, unless they call you, it never happened. And that really helped me personally as an actor, because you can sometimes have these exhaust fumes of like, oh, I really want it and I hope it works out. And it's much better from a mental health point of view just to think it never happened until they call you. And then when they call you, you can get further invested.
Well done.
I think I read somewhere, someone said, if you can sit in a garden doing nothing, then you've won at life. And I kind of took that on, and I think that is really important. If you can sit without any music, without reading, without anything, and just be content at sitting, then life is good anywhere. You don't have to do anything. Because we always feel like we should be doing something. And sometimes the secret is just to sit and breathe, you know.
Can I do one more? I have a darling old girlfriend who is dying at the moment. And on the wall of her, no, don't worry about that. She's had a magnificent life and her death is right. She is showing fortitude and courage. On the wall of her guest room, there's a little quotation that I saw. I am a small part, of a mirror, the size and shape of which I cannot guess, but I can use my life to reflect light into the darkness of the world.
Next question.
Hello. Obviously, we love all these characters, so my question is, who most is like their character?
I feel like we're all like. I was going to say the same thing. It's hard to separate, isn't it? Really?
Ian?
Yeah, Ian is quite wizardy. Ian is quite wizardy. Orlando.
Vigo?
Vigo, yeah, Vigo's very like.
Yeah, they're all quite like their characters, to be honest.
Sorry, that's a terrible answer to your question.
No, it's weird. Everyone really fit the character that they played quite well.
We're actors. For money, we will play any part.
Next question.
So I just want to give Dom a shout out. I'm a big Lost fan, so Charlie. But I'm just wondering, what can you guys tell us about Billy and Dom Eat the World, and when can we actually see it?
Oh man,
We almost did.
yeah, we had a Zoom call yesterday. We were very close to bringing the trailer, but we're going to bring it to the next convention. So all you guys come to the next convention. I'll see you guys there. It will come out, I think, sometime in the early part of next year, I would assume. Right?
Yeah, I would think so. We're still finishing it. We have another couple of trips to go on, but it's been so good being able to, like, the idea was to travel and try and find out about a community or a country or a city through the food that they eat and how food has, changed. And it's been amazing, hasn't it? We've met some incredible people telling us their story through food, restaurants or cafes or whatever. And I've had a great time.
Up to now it's been London, Outer Hebrides, California, Texas, Japan, Switzerland, I'm missing one. And then we're doing Manchester, where I'm from, and Costa Rica.
So great stories. I hope you'll all watch it.
And we will. If any of you guys follow either Billy or I on social media, we will of course let you know where you can watch it and how you can watch it and all that kind of stuff. Thanks, man.
So speaking of delightful stories, Billy, nobody here's heard this story. Can you tell the story of when you went to the dentist, when you had your hobbit feet on?
Oh yeah.
Do you mind telling them that story? They would love to hear that story.
It's a true story. We were shooting in Wellington, and it takes an hour to put the hobbit feet on at that time. They had to glue them and paint them and put hair on. And I was sitting in my trailer waiting to go on, and I got toothache, really bad toothache. And I was like, I need to get something done, I can't concentrate. And I went to the dentist, dressed as a hobbit. Before anyone had ever seen a hobbit, like from the movies. They put a robe over, and then we had these giant moon boots. And off I went to the dentist, and I was lying there. And the dentist said, oh, you need a filling. You need a... And I was like, I've got lines to say this afternoon. I said, I can't numb my mouth. And she was like, well, I could try and give you it without numbing, but it might be painful. And I was like, yeah, give it a go. What? And it was like, I was.
Novocaine does go away in like an hour and a half.
But I thought, well, I might have to go on and go,
right away.
Oh, about chicken breakfast. You know what I mean? So she started drilling And it was more the fear of that it might get really painful. And I was lying there and she's going, is it okay? Is it okay? And I was like, oh yes, all right, it's all right. And I was sweating so much that my feet fell off. Honestly.
She drilled your feet off.
So she finished the filling and I left holding my feet back to Weta, and they had to glue them back on, by which time the numbness would have went. So I could have got it down.
So she gave you a full filling, no pain.
Yeah, no anesthetic, nothing. Yeah! Hardcore, man, hardcore. And everybody talks about Vigo losing a bit of his tooth. That was nothing! I'm in there getting fillings, drills and all that.
Next question.
Yes, I actually have a question about the Two Towers. I'm gonna like a deep dive online this. I can't find it. It's about an actor. In the scene where like Pip and Mary are like in the field with those orcs before they meet Treebeard, who plays that orc with the creepy voice, the one that got his head chopped off?
Is that the guy who says, you know, they look like good eating, that guy? It wasn't Jed Brophy.
I think it was Jed Brophy.
I think it's Jed Brophy who was in.
Who do you think it is? Oh, you don't know? It's Jed Brophy. Who played a lot of characters.
Yeah. Jed Brophy was Orcs. I think he was Uruk-hai. I think he was he a goblin maybe? And he's in The Hobbit.
He's on horses. He's Rohan. He's a Rohan on horses quite.
Jed Brophy. Very good performance, right? Very creepy. I kick him in the face.
Isn't he one of the dwarfs in The Hobbit?
Possibly.
Oh, no, yeah. Thank you. You guys know.
Hi. Thank you guys all for being here. These movies have meant a lot to me over the years, and I regularly find myself quoting Lord of the Rings in my day-to-day life, from "Don't be hasty" to "Not its business," and I have quotes on the wall like "It's no bad thing to celebrate a simple life." So I know somebody already asked you what quotes you hear most frequently, but what quotes are your favorite or the most impactful to you?
I'll sometimes do this, and it very often is not noticed by people in my life. But if we're going somewhere, I'll say the place. Let's say we're going to Starbucks, which I never go to. But I'll go, Starbucks, follow me. And the follow me is actually from Lord of the Rings. But no one ever picks up on the phone there. I do that. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I've been a handful of people that have gone, oh, I go see. That's amazing.
Are you asking specifically for Lord of the Rings quotes that we carry around with us, or in general? In general. It's a quote that I really love. It's funny, I discovered it on Radiohead, the Radiohead website back in the 1990s, actually 2000s. And they had put a quote, it was during the OK Computer cycle, and their website's always got filled with weird ephemera, funny writings. And there was this quote that it really stood out, and it was, "There's nothing noble in being superior to your fellow man. True nobility is being superior to your former self." And that just really resonated. And I think it actually comes from Siddhartha. I think they pulled it from that, but I really love that quote.
I like that too.
There is a quote, and I cannot remember the beginning of it, but so I will not give that quote, I'll give you another one. Not all who wander are lost.
Love that.
Yeah, I love the Ents. I love Treebeard and the Ents. So the "Don't be hasty." I think the Ents have a lot of wisdom.
It's great to see you, and I love your work. I have two really quick questions. First, what do you guys go by in your phones for each other? Do you go by the Frodo or do you go by Elijah? And then the other quick one is, what do you think happened on the boat at the end of The Lord of the Rings, and Return of the King?
Bilbo says, I'm ready for another adventure. Do you think that boat sank and you have to swim? Or are they just smoking Gandalf's pipe on the boat all the way there?
Cool question, man. So, in my phone, Lige, Billy's called Darling Duck. Sean, I think Sean is just Sean, unfortunately.
You were Splommy for a while.
Yeah, Splommy for a little while, yeah.
I've been meaning to say this to you.
I'm in trouble now.
No, like Dom, does things like Darling Duck, or he changes the name sometimes. But I don't. That is now my name as an email. So when I send an email to someone else, it's from Darling Duck.
Really?
Yeah.
Kind of infected your phone?
Yeah. And I was going to ask you, how do I stop it being?
I don't
know. It was Big Bill Boyd.
Big Bill Boyd for a while. Yeah.
So a lot of my emails is from Big Bill Boyd.
Were they like work emails?
Like, yeah. Any email I send to anyone, Big Bill Boyd.
Bizarre, man. What was the second part of your question? Something about the end of the film?
At the end of the film, Bilbo says, I'm ready for another adventure. Do you think that boat sank, or do you think they're just smoking Gandalf's pipe on the boat?
Oh. Did the boat sink? No.
What's the adventure?
Oh, what was the adventure? At the end?
I think Merry and Pippin, I mean, they do talk about it in the appendices for Lord of the Rings. Merry and Pippin live a pretty high life for a while. Lots of food and drink and partying and enjoying the fact that they are noble men of the Shire. I mean, I think that was written by Tolkien, so, yeah.
You know how it goes, you have in your telephone book, you've got several Tims. You've got Tim the mechanic, and you've got, well, I have asked in my thing, Sean, the future president of the United States.
We have time for one more question. This will be the final question right here.
All right, so first I just want to say that I am very grateful for the story that you guys worked hard to tell, and that it will be remembered for generations. It was relevant 70 years ago, it will be relevant 100 years later. But my question is specifically to you, Elijah, and that is, Frodo was a very simple hobbit, much like Bilbo. And he loved a simple life, much like all the other hobbits. Why do you think he left all that to take the ring to Mordor and go through all that suffering that he went through?
I mean, he's Bilbo's nephew, and almost raised by Bilbo. And Bilbo carries with him a taste of adventure, which is very un-hobbiting. Hobbits don't like to stray outside of the Shire, and they don't like to know what's going on in the outside world because it presents dangers. They like to be safe and comfortable and warm and cozy. And Frodo grew up hearing these incredible tales, and I think part of what propels him forward with this this particular ask is very simple, and I don't think Frodo understands, and I don't think even Gandalf understands that that's going to be Frodo's fate. It's just, let's get this ring to Rivendell, essentially, right? And it's not until then that he really decides that it's his fate, or that he'll sort of take up the mantle of taking the ring. And I don't even think in that moment that he realizes that he's potentially leaving all of that behind. I think there's a sense of wanderlust and adventure, and he leaves the Shire with the potentiality of being able to see elves, and sort of walk in the footsteps of his uncle. So I think that's the impetus, and I think once he's gotten far enough along, like in the Mines of Moria, he realizes, wait a second, this is way fucking too much. I'm not ready for this. Can we just give it away? and then ultimately realizes that it's something that he's got to do, and he's built of that stuff. But I think all of the hobbits are. I think they're all made of something. They have an internal sort of fortitude that is beyond that of men and other creatures of Middle Earth, you know.
You guys, I don't know if you guys know this, there's almost 5,000 people here. They're here to see you on a Thursday morning. Please give a huge round of applause, everybody. You guys can get a photo op with them. They're doing group photos. There's going to be a QR code right here on the screen. You aim your phone at it, you can schedule your photo op, and once they sell out, there's going to be no more. But one more time, guys, they can still